Men, are you a guy who has a heart for helping and leading other men? Today we're going to take a little pivot from our normal podcast episodes to help men who have a passion for leading men. Today we're going to give you 7 ways, 7 launch steps for you to start a group with the men of your church or community. So hey, let's jump into the meat of today's podcast episode. Over and over again, I find discouraged guys coming to us saying, hey, I've tried to start a group, or I want to start a group, and I just couldn't get it done. I couldn't figure out a way to do it. What are the steps? Is there a time-tested way of doing this? One of the resources I used for our own launch steps is a guy named Robert E. Coleman's book, The Master Plan of Evangelism. So some of the steps are from that book, but that's a great resource for you. And we'll give you some other resources at the end of this podcast to help you launch a team of your own. So launch step number 1, remember guys, there's 7 of these. Launch step number 1 is very simply recruit a co-leader. This is what Jesus did. He found guys, he paired them up. There will be times when you can't make it to the group. There will be times when you've got a conflict in your schedule, or there'll be times when you have an inner conflict. You just need a guy there to encourage you, to pray for you. You need a guy who will be there, who has your back. So make sure you find a guy who will be your co-captain. Launch step number 2 is this: you build your hit lists. In other words, you and your co-captain get together, you create your own list of guys you want to recruit, he creates his own list of the guys he wants to recruit, and then you pray over those lists, and then you discuss who you will ultimately call, which is the next launch step, to be a part of your group. I don't know if you know this, but in Luke chapter 6, verses 12 through 16, Jesus actually selected his 12 disciples from a larger group of disciples. Listen, here's what it says, quote, "One of those days, Jesus went to a mountainside to pray. He spent the night praying to God. When morning came, he called his disciples to him and chose 12 of them, whom he also designated apostles." And we read the list from the most important disciple, Simon, all the way down to the least important, Judas Iscariot, the ultimate traitor. So you and your co-captain create 2 lists, no more than 20 men on each list. I'd be really surprised if you could get more than 20 on that list. Yes, that is a challenge. Once you have your list and he has his list, you come together, you spend a significant amount of time praying, asking God to direct you, and then you combine your 2 lists of 20 each, 15 each, into one list of about 15 to 20 men, which leads me to launch step number 3. We simply call this the call. Jesus called all of his disciples. Now, this is really important. You and your co-captain set the meeting day, time, and date of your first meeting. So before you call them in, you call them and let them know 2 things: the day, time, and place of your first meeting, and you also let them know that you're going to have a potluck before that meeting to discuss and answer any questions they may have. So once you do this, you call these guys. Now listen, do not text these guys. Do not email these guys. Either grab each man face to face or call them on the phone and say something like this: "Hey Joe, this is Mike. I want to talk to you about something that's helped me become a better version of myself in Christ. It's an internationally known organization called Men in the Arena. I'm so excited about this ministry. I'm actually going to start a team of my own with my co-captain buddy, Mike," or whoever his name is. "I want to invite you to join us. We're going to be meeting at this time, at this place. We're going to start on this day, and we are going to have a potluck before that to discuss the technical issues and answer any questions you may have. Do you have any more questions for me?" So at this point, release the guy and have him get back to you within a week or so. The guys I asked said yes immediately, but you make sure you have a definite time for him to answer you and make sure he takes the initiative. If he does not take the initiative, he's not going to be a guy who's in. And I will tell you this: expect 20% attrition rate. So if 20 guys say yes to your group, you're going to end up with 16 guys. If 10 guys say yes to your group, you will ultimately end up with 8 guys. You will ultimately lose about 20% for various reasons. Launch step number 4 is the team list. So what we have learned about the successful teams is they are great at communicating to the guys who are on their team, to their group members. So we recommend creating some kind of messenger thread, some kind of text thread, creating also an email group list. But you have to get the men's names, their cell numbers, and their emails before you do this, and create an entire list and send it to every team member so all the guys have everybody else's contact information. This is critically important that you as the leader are the best communicator. Launch step number 5 is this: the team and spouses gathering. Now, some of your guys are going to be single, so we can't call it a couples gathering. It's a team and spouses gathering. At this gathering, what you do is I highly recommend having a potluck style meal where all of the guys and their spouses show up, and you explain when the group will meet, how often it'll meet. You explain that there's a 75% attendance mandate. You explain that they will need to buy in to the group with the materials. You explain a little bit about Men in the Arena and what we do. You just explain everything that you know, and then you take time to answer questions. And I promise you, the wives will for sure have questions. So make sure you do that, and at the end of the night, make sure you have a time of prayer together. And it's a very simple 1 hour, 1.5 hour gathering. You're going to have a great time. It's really, really fun, but make sure you do it, because launch step 6 is coming. Launch step 6 is simply the buy-in. During this launch step, every guy must buy the Bible study book. Whatever book you're using, they must purchase that book. Now, your church may choose to purchase all of the books for you. I still highly, emphatically recommend that you make guys pay for their book, because the guys that are unwilling to pay $15 for a simple Bible study book have no skin in the game, and the less skin in the game you have, what we have found, the less committed men are. So you need men with commitment. You need men with skin in the game, which leads me to launch step 7. Launch step 7 is very simply this, guys. It is the team leader commissioning. Yes, you heard me right. Moses was commissioned. Joshua was commissioned. Paul was commissioned. Jesus himself was commissioned. It's so important to get your guys in front of the church and have the pastor commission you and your co-leader in front of the body and send you out into the ministry field. You have to have the blessing, the public blessing of your leader. I hope this helps you. 7 steps to launching your successful team. If you have any more questions about how to start a team, for the cost of your email, you can get my book, Help, I'm Starting a Men's Group, or you can go purchase the Men's Ministry Playbook. Until next time, feel the wet sand on the arena floor, hear the deafening roar of the crowd, taste the sweetness of victory, smell the stench of battle, get in the game, get dirty, grind it out, lead men, and be a man.